A lot of people are saying this about the Tecno Spark Slim.
You see how fine this phone is now? It looks like a flagship.
I think it's value for money.
Tecno did not make any real compromise.
But what if I told you that not everything you've heard is actually true? There are some important things no one is really talking about, and if you miss them, you might regret buying this phone in 2025. So in this video, I'm going to properly break down the Spark Slim, tell you everything you need to know, and then reveal the real reason why it might not be the phone you think it is. Let's start with the unboxing experience. When you open the packaging, you get the phone itself, an additional screen protector, a hard plastic case, a SIM ejector tool, a USB Type-C cable, and a fast charging brick. These are pretty decent accessories for the price. I'm not a fan of the hard case. The soft rubber case from the Pop 10 was way better, but at least Tecno still includes a free screen protector, which is rare nowadays, so that's a plus. And if you're enjoying this video so far, kindly tap the like button so more people can see it, and don't forget to subscribe as well. Thank you. Now, let's talk about design and build quality. In terms of the overall look, I won't call myself the biggest fan. Sure, it's a bold design, something I've never seen before, but it still looks like a prototype. But thinking 7-year-olds are the ones buying it. The unusual camera island and notification lights make the phone look almost toy-like, which isn't ideal. But that's just me speaking from a bird's eye view. In reality, the design does have its advantages. The camera shape makes it practically invincible to table wobbling. The slim and lightweight profile is extremely palm-friendly, and the notification lights, though a little bit creepy like someone is watching you, are still handy for knowing what's happening without touching the phone. As for build quality, it's exactly what you expect from a 300,000 naira phone in 2025. It's made from a unique plastic fiberglass material that helps prevent accidental bending despite its thinness. Because of this fiber plastic blend, it's resistant to fingerprints, useful for a phone this slim and light, which would otherwise be hard to grip securely. And if you don't slip, the Gorilla Glass 7 eye protection has you covered. On top of that, it has an IP64 dust tight and water resistant rating, which is very useful in most harsh conditions. Another thing to point out here is that because it's so thin, it doesn't have any guarantee of drop resistance, but it can be dropped like that, and even though it's dropped, there's some sort of protection, so that won't really be an issue. So the build quality is solid. What about the external features? The Tecno Spark Slim comes with an under-display fingerprint scanner that's fast and reliable. It also includes NFC, an IR blaster, and Dolby Atmos tuned dual stereo speakers, which sound surprisingly loud and rich. However, not everything is included. There is no headphone jack and no expandable storage, so no SD card support. It's nothing to complain about at this price point, but it's important to keep in mind, if you buy this phone, don't expect to expand the storage or use wired earphones. It simply won't be possible. That leads us to the display. Is it just as good? Well, the Tecno Spark Slim comes with a 6.78-inch 1.5K AMOLED panel with a 144Hz refresh rate, and in this category, it's just funny how these phone brands like Tecno market most of their specifications. It's a quote-unquote 144Hz refresh rate, but it only works on 3 apps you probably won't use as much.
No! God, please, no!
Everything else just refreshes at the standard 120Hz. Apart from it being almost bezel-less, it also has 4500 nits of peak brightness, which makes it very usable outdoors without any problems. Whenever you're consuming content, the AMOLED display ensures that the colors are vibrant and contrasty. The 1.5K resolution also keeps things very sharp and detailed. All in all, my verdict here is that this display is just as good as those on the Spark 40 Pro Plus and 4060 Pro Plus, if not better. But let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. So, we're on to the most important aspect of this phone, or any phone in particular, the performance. Powering the Tecno Spark Slim is the MediaTek Helio G200, and it's still the most powerful gaming chipset you can get in a budget phone. Despite this phone being this thin, it has a cooling mechanism in place to get heat out faster while consuming less power. And it does translate to real world usage. Apps open really fast. In fact, they open so fast you don't even realize this is actually a budget phone. You also get top of the line multitasking thanks to the 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of fast UFS storage. When it comes to gaming, this phone can run not only basic titles but also graphic intensive games like Call of Duty, Genshin Impact, etc. They run very well at medium settings, and you can also expect long sustained gaming session because of the cooling technology in place. You should know that in terms of raw performance, this phone performs exactly like the Spark 40 Pro Plus, so don't buy this phone thinking it will perform better, because it won't. What about the software? Well, the Tecno Spark Slim runs on iOS 15.1 slapped on Android 15, which is the exact same software that powered the Spark 40 Pro Plus. There isn't much difference between the two. It's still the same slightly bloaty experience with almost no art and a wide variety of software features like Circle to Search, Writing Assistant, Gemini, and even a whole lot of photo editing tools like the AI Magic Eraser and others. The software is packed with a lot of features and I really appreciate that. But now, let's talk a bit about the cameras, and this is in my opinion another compromise that bothered me, especially if you compare it to the Spark 40 Pro Plus. I don't think thinness is what caused it, but it's still a compromise nonetheless. If you didn't know, not all of these two eyes at the back are cameras. The Spark Slim comes with a single 50MP main camera, which is still pretty good at delivering excellent budget phone photography. If you give it enough lighting, shots come out detailed and sharp. The dynamic range is decent, and it's also nice that the photos don't look oversaturated like many budget phones do. The video on the right goes up to 2K 30 frames per second, but I would advise you to use 1080p if you want a stable video, because it's only at that resolution that you get any form of stabilization. And on the front is the 30MP selfie camera which shoots in 2K as well. And this leads us to probably the most confusing and most impressive aspect of this phone, the battery. You know, I've seen a lot of slim phones with large battery, but nothing like this. The Tecno Spark Slim comes with a massive 5160 mAh battery. Imagine 5160 mAh battery on a phone thinner than 6mm. Unlike the regular energy-dense silicon carbon batteries all these slim phones use nowadays, the Tecno Spark Slim decided to go for a much better material, which makes it last just as long as you expect it to. For context, it can last the average user the entire day with no issues whatsoever. And when it comes to charging, this phone supports 45W fast charging, which fills it up in an hour. Bypass charging as well as reverse wire charging, which also makes it the world's thinnest power bank. Wow. So you can see that this phone is very good, and apart from its lack of drop resistance, it doesn't really compromise that much for its thinness. However, what you probably don't realize is the price. Unlike the Spark 40 Pro Plus and Hot 60 Pro Plus, which you can get for around 270,000 naira, this phone starts above 300k because the only storage option is 256 gigs by default. And this is not an accident. It's like when foldables first started getting popular, Samsung created the Z Flip lineup, which was filled with compromises and almost the same price, but it still sold pretty well. Someone might feel like getting the slim phone because it's what's trending at the moment and just pay that much money without thinking about the much cheaper 128 gigs variant of the Spark 40 Pro Plus, simply because it's not as thin. So Tecno is using that as an opportunity to sell the same phone 2 times at 2 different prices, and nobody will suspect anything. And that's just crazy marketing if you ask me. So to sum everything up, that doesn't make this phone bad. It's still good value for money in 2025. But our advice is to spend less money, and to do that, you should check out the cheaper options from Tecno and Infinix, the Tecno Spark 40 Pro Plus and the Infinix Hot 60 Pro Plus. So click any card on the screen right now and I'll tell you all about it.